Over the years, there's been quite a few Easter eggs hidden in Terraria. Like, for example, if you've ever heard this owl sound, hoot, well, that's an Easter egg. Now, in 2020, I made a video covering absolutely every Easter egg in Terraria, but after 4 more final updates, there's quite a few more, and one of them is a lot more complicated than you'd think. Now, this first one is one that I missed in my previous video, but it's been in the game for about 11 years. If you decide to rock a pair of sunglasses, you may notice that the sun is also wearing sunglasses. And this one is now extra special because that's the original sprite for the sun. So this one is actually part of a crossover with Stardew Valley, and all you need to do is fish up some Joja Cola. This cola is technically trash, so to obtain it, you'll need a small pool of water and less than 50% fishing power. Now, upon close inspection, you'd probably assume it was food because you can actually drink it. However, if you take this item directly to the Dryad, you can unlock an extra dialogue option called Purify, which will take your can of soda and open up a portal to Stardew Valley. In return, you'll receive the Jumino pet. I guess now we wait to see if Stardew Valley will have a Terraria Easter egg. Real quick, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more like it, instead of relying on recommendations, be sure to hit subscribe. Next up is one of the new secret seeds. This one is called Celebrationmk10 and was added to celebrate Terraria's 10th anniversary. In this seed, you'll spawn on a beach with a couple of NPCs, and you'll also find most things in the world have been painted with bright colors. This seed also includes the jungle mimic, which was an unimplemented enemy for 6 years, and introduces the golden slime, which is a great way to get some extra cash. If you head underground, you'll find that items and chests will always have the best possible modifier, and rare items are way more likely to drop. The traveling merchant will always sell 2 extra items, and the princess will sell rare items such as the slime staff and the discount card. And on the topic of getting a discount, let's talk about the sponsor for today's video. Unfortunately, there's no magic cure for baldness, but what you can do is you can prevent hair loss from happening in the first place, which is why I'm very excited about the sponsor of today's video, Keeps. Their service is modern and convenient. You can meet with a doctor discreetly online and have products delivered directly to your door every 3 months. Right now, there are only 2 FDA-approved products on the market, and Keeps actually offers generic versions of both, making them safe, tested, and effective without having to pay a premium, as Keeps is typically half the price of pharmacy costs, and also with their treatment plans, you get 1 year of unlimited doctor messaging. Statistically, most men will experience some form of hair loss by the age of 35, but by taking preemptive measures, it's the best way to try and save your hair. And this is especially true as it can take up to 6 months for people to start seeing results. Hair loss stops with Keeps, so to save 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/chippy or click the link at the top of the description. That's keeps.com/chippy, and it'll save you 50%. So in my last video, I highlighted a couple of special names that changes colors of weapons like the last prism. Well, in Terraria 1.4.4, we actually got 3 new names, and here's what they look like. Let's talk about another new secret seed, the Constant. This secret seed introduces a hunger mechanic, which will make the character weaker and eventually lead to death if not maintained. There's also a filter on the world, which makes the game much darker and can't be removed until the player has beaten Deerclops. Marble biomes will spawn on the surface, as will spider caves, and cacti will once again hurt the player. Oh, and if you're in complete darkness, well, you die. No Traps is another secret seed and does the opposite to its name. In this seed, you'll see a very high amount of traps, but also deadlier ones like the bouncy boulder. Honestly, not too sure why you'd ever want to try this one, but the option's always there. Another secret seed, Don't Dig Up. In this seed, the player spawns at the bottom of the world in Hell on a tiny island with lava trees. Ore generation is flipped, so above you will be lower tier ores, and as you get higher towards the surface, you'll find higher tier ores. Certain hard mode weapons can be found pre-hard mode, but they've been rebalanced, and that's the same the opposite way around. The surface, however, will be completely overrun with your world's evil, and the spawn rate up there will be dramatically increased. It's a little evil, but to combat you sorting that problem out, the Dryad won't sell purification powder, and you can't buy a Clentaminator from the Steampunker. There's a lot of other small changes too. I won't cover them all, but one of my favorites is that NPC happiness is disabled, so setting up pylons in this seed is a breeze. And finally, Getfixedboi. Now, this one actually has its own Easter egg while generating the world, which is very easy to miss. During creation, you can click on the moon and drag it around the screen, and if a fallen star hits it, it will bounce off and you'll hear the meow meow sound. Well, every time this happens, you actually alter the world generation. The game keeps track of how many fallen stars you've hit, and for each one you gain 1 point. And you can see this as the colors will get brighter and the shader will become stronger the more points that you have. These points actually increase the amount of certain objects and sculptures in the world being generated. Each point increases the amount by 0.1%, and this caps out at 20% or 200 hits. And it includes things like life crystals, statues, chests found outside of cabins, gemstone caves, pots, but also TNT and TNT barrels. We've actually never seen an Easter egg like this before, and I love it. Now, as for the seed itself, well, it's a combination of a bunch of other secret seeds. Some notable changes include spawning at the bottom of the world, increased traps, increased difficulty, increased enemy spawn rate on the surface, larger bee biomes, a custom dungeon, access to every ore, the hunger mechanic, and it doesn't stop there. This seed also includes a brand new boss, Medusa. Now, Medusa is actually a combination of all of the mechanical bosses, and instead of being able to fight them individually, you have to fight them together. And this boss will even drop an item that's completely exclusive to the seed called the Waffle Iron. There's also a brand new projectile only found on this seed called a Moon Boulder, and it's exactly what you'd think. So during your fight with the Moon Lord, dying to a moon boulder is a very real possibility. Now, in Terraria 1.4.4, they did actually make some changes to some of the existing secret seeds. For example, for the Worthy, it's now more difficult. And if you want to read all the changes, I'll leave a link to the official Wikipedia page down below. Now, that's about it for every Easter egg we've had in Terraria, but if you do want to learn more, be sure to watch my previous video, which covers all the ones found from 2011 to 2020. As I said earlier, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.